This is my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so in this episode, Yoshikage Kira realizes that his Killer Queen substand sheer heart attack has actually been caught, and quickly realizes that he needs to go retrieve it. So he goes to the cafe. At the same time, Okuyasu and Josuke are heading there, and they remark that that's about 5 minutes from Centipede Shoes, and that they'll get there and that they have to get there quickly before something bad happens. But in case Kira realizes that he needs to get to the shop, and he's ultimately a little bit pissed that he's kind of sort of making a fool of himself because his hand is just kind of dragging along the ground because it's too heavy for him to lift. And he proceeds to try and take as many shortcuts as he can to get to where Koichi is and try to get his other stand back. On his way there, he's actually accosted by two thugs who realize that he's probably pretty well off and try to mug him and proceed to torment him. At which point his wallet falls out of his pocket. However, he decides that he doesn't have time for their shenanigans and uses Killer Queen to blow off a guy's finger, having transmuted his wallet into a bomb ahead of time. At which point he snatches up his wallet and then leaves while the guys are distracted. In any case, Koichi begins to question what exactly they do now while they wait for Okuyasu and Josuke to show up, and Zack 3 merely remarks that they should really just keep on his toes, pointing out that if Koichi moves out of his stand's range, which is revealed to now be 5 meters, the stand will reactivate and move again. But should he get closer, the weight will actually increase. And Koichi realizes that it's probably enough for now and decides to leave it alone. However, unfortunately for Koichi, Yoshikage Kira arrives first, having arrived 3 minutes, whereas Josuke and Okuyasu need 5. So he arrives with 2 minutes to spare, and reveals that though his stamina is low and hopes that he'll be able to join a gym at some point, he will be able to. He will remark later that he's actually does need to work on his stamina a little bit since he's this out of shape after lifting basically 20 pounds on his left hand. So, but he remarks that whether or not he'll have to do so with people doing disgusting things at the gym. But he also reveals that he knows everybody about all of the different stand users in town and about how and basically gloats about his victory to directly to Koichi's face. At which point Koichi realizes, mainly because he saw him from behind, that the guy is indeed the murderer, and proceeds to confront Yoshikage Kira and make sure that he isn't able to kill him like he did so many other people. But Kira merely remarks that he's going to defeat him, that he's just going to defeat him and kill him, and so that he can sleep peacefully that night, and then summons Killer Queen, which throws Koichi for a loop, as Killer Queen and Sheer Heart Attack are somehow separate stands, and Yoshikage Kira somehow has 2, which throws Koichi for a loop because he knows that a stand user is only supposed to have 1. At which point Kira reveals that his Sheer Heart Attack is actually a sub-stand attached only to Killer Queen's left hand, which enables him to basically control it independently without having to sacrifice his own stand. Since it's deployed from Killer Queen's hand, it doesn't have to worry about the range or anything like that. But in case he and Koichi immediately summons Act 3 and has him attack Kira, but Kira's Killer Queen proves to be too much for Koichi, and he's knocked backwards enough that he's out of the range of his stand, and it causes Sheer Heart Attack to pick up again. And Koichi is now in a bit of a catch-22, as regardless of who he actually uses 3 frees on, he's going to have a problem, because Zack 3 actually reveals another caveat of its ability, that 3 frees only works on 1 target at a time. So if Koichi doesn't plan this carefully, then he's going to lose. Eventually Koichi decides to take down the bomb, and it works, but he then gets pinned by Killer Queen, and Koichi is unable to move. At which point Kira remarks about how impressed he is with Koichi, about how it's the first time he's ever felt a sense of defeat since, for the first time ever, somebody has actually managed to stop his stand in its tracks, and he's a little interested as to how he did that. But then he proceeds to beat Koichi within an inch of his life, after pointing out that he's both a little bit pissed about the indignity that Koichi made him suffer, basically. And proceeds to beat Koichi within an inch of his life. And Koichi tries to scream for help, but Kira, having been in a similar situation not literally less than 5 minutes ago, proceeds to stop Koichi from screaming, pointing out that he didn't scream when he was in his position and that he should be more like him, and continues to beat his head into the pavement as Killer Queen retrieves sheer heart attack. At which point, but as Yoshikage Kira is about to finish off Koichi reveals that he actually swiped Kira's wallet at some point, and had actually managed to get his driver's license out without him noticing, and reveals that he has all the information he needs to actually stop him. And while Kira is a little unfazed by this because he realizes that Koichi is the only person who's going to know this information, Koichi then goads him since he literally has nothing left to lose, and tells him that he should really watch himself a little bit more, because if even a dumb little kid like Koichi could figure it out, then Kira has no chance of actually winning, since they have quite a few smart people to figure things out as well. And eventually Kira has enough of Koichi's prattling and attacks him with Killer Queen and punches him through the abdomen, which fatally wounds Koichi but doesn't kill him. So, oddly enough, even though we've seen that exact same kill before in the series, part 3, Kakyoin, he died in the exact same way, but then again he did kind of live for a few minutes afterwards. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but in case Kira withdraws Killer Queen and points out and asks himself why he's getting so angry, and points out that he really shouldn't worry about it much, and points out that Koichi put up a good fight, but now it's time for him to be erased, and then uses Killer Queen's first ability to transmute anything into a bomb to turn Koichi's student badge into a bomb so that he can blow that up. Unfortunately, well, depending on who you ask, but unfortunately for Kira, Jotaro is revealed to not quite be unconscious. He's badly injured, but he's still alive, albeit barely able to stand himself. And even then, he's able to have enough power to stop Killer Queen from actually killing Koichi. And Yoshikage Kira even remarks that Jotaro is barely able to stand and that he should have just let himself lie on the ground and just let things play out, since he's really in no position to actually be facing off against Yoshikage Kira in the state that he's in, and proceeds to summon Killer Queen and battle him, but quickly realizes that even though Jotaro is in a weakened state, that Star Platinum is still a formidable opponent to be facing against, even though Jotaro is barely hanging on as it is. And even remarks that he's so fast that it feels like he stopped time, which incidentally he can. So yeah. At which point Jotaro remarks that he's going to beat Yoshikage Kira's face in a matter coy way by saying that he has an ugly watch and then he's going to break it, which is to say he's going to break his face, and then he holds up on that promise and punches his lights out, and then proceeds to tell Koichi that he fought well and is proud to be his friend and is proud to see how much he's grown and matured, before passing out from his wounds like Koichi did. So yeah, they defeat the bad guy, but they also both pass out in the process. So yeah, they didn't really fight all that formidably. They managed to knock him out, but then they passed out themselves. Unfortunately, at the exact moment as Kira is waking up, Josuke and Okuyasu show up, realize what happened, and proceed to patch up their friends. At which point, Kira decides to make a break for it by crawling, since he's very badly injured and isn't able to stand up yet. At which point, Josuke and Okuyasu notice what's going on and note that he's a little bit suspicious. So Yoshikage Kira tries to play it off as that he was in the accident of what that happened when the bomb went off, and tries to play it off that he was just there and was a helpless victim and he's just a salaryman. But then he gets a little bit cocky and asks Josuke to patch him up. So, and which he would only know if he saw Crazy Diamonds do that not minutes before. So Josuke immediately realizes something is off and proceeds to corner and attack the guy. But Yoshikage Kira has a bit of a contingency plan, namely that he cut off his own hand, which enable specifically his left hand with Killer Queen, which basically means that sheer heart attack now has no weakness because it's now tied to a body part that isn't connected to Yoshikage Kira's body anymore. And as they're dealing with sheer heart attack, he actually leaves and makes a break for it, and proceeds to go somewhere so that he can sleep peacefully, as he puts it. In the process, he walks by his old building, and his co-workers are understandably scared of him because he's bloody, bruised, and missing a hand. But he doesn't care, saying that he'll be fine and that he'll just go sleep it off, and then he leaves. But in case, Jotaro, who is now woken up and recovered from his wounds, points out that they can't actually destroy sheer heart attack since its armor is just too thick. So Josuke decides to do something else, and something that Yoshikage Kira kind of didn't think of. That Crazy Diamond actually repairs sheer heart attack, and by extension the hand it's bound to, which causes Yoshikage Kira's hands to home in on Yoshikage Kira himself, and they proceed to chase after it. And as they're chasing after it, Koichi and Jotaro fill in the blanks about who this guy is and what he's and what kind of person he is and how to catch him. And Josuke remarks that that's all useful information to have and that they're going to catch him and he won't get away again. But then they follow the hand to Ayasuji's shop, and they quickly realize something is wrong. So at which point they go into the room after the hand pushes the door open and proceeds to go through the salon. At which point they see Yoshikage Kira's clothes strewn all over the place. Then they go into the salon itself and see Ayasuji badly wounded on the floor and another man dead in a chair. And while they initially believe that the man is Yoshikage Kira, they quickly realize that the guy has his left hand after Jotaro notices that it's still moving away from the body. At which point Aya, badly injured but still alive, remarks that that he came into her shop, killed the guy right in front of her, and then demanded that she replace his face and hair with the guy's own face and hair so that he could blend in with it. And when Josuke moves in to actually heal Aya, Jotaro actually stops him, and since he hears sheer heart attack's signature noise of "I'm going to blow up now," and pulls him away from the explosion. At which point Ayasuji is killed immediately without a trace. And the group now adamantly upset that they've yet lost another friend, barges out of the room, only to discover that it's now quitting time for a lot of people, and Yoshikage Kira has blended into the crowd, and they realize that they're not going to be able to find him, or at least not as easily as they would have before, because now he has a new name, a new face, and a new identity. So they basically have no way to track him now since he's been defeated. And because he's been defeated, he actually played a bit of identity theft using Ayasuji's stands to blend in as it were, so that they can't actually track him anymore. So now they have a new problem. Yoshikage Kira has now disappeared from the face of the earth, and it's unknown what he actually looks like now. They don't know who he is. All they know is that he stole the guy's suit and the guy's face. So that's basically very little to work on. So they have to go find him again. But in any case, yeah, this episode just kind of ends with them cornering Yoshikage Kira, only for him to play identity theft and escape. So they have no way of actually tracking him now. And it's going to be interesting when they do find him again, because they have no idea who he is. So he can be literally anybody. That's going to be interesting to actually track down. But in any case, that's my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and also next time I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!